All right, so it is episode 3 of Road to Payouts. As you can tell by the title, I'm funded. Well, recording this right now, April 17th, I am technically funded. I haven't got an email yet. Let's just go to see what it's looking like. I was working on this account in the last episode, of this free reset. Now, I did actually trade this account, the one that I was talking about with the reset that I had. I traded it starting this week, okay? April 16th. Like I said, it is April 17th today, okay? Like, as I'm recording this right now, okay? Now, markets have been so trash with Trump's volatility and, all the tariffs, as I was talking about, all the tariffs, the economic news, the fundamentals. But one pair that hasn't switched up and has just been just overly going in one direction and has been bullish is gold, okay? And gold is the only pair that I trade. Now, I will say, like I said, I'm technically funded, okay? Because as you can see, so here's the new account that I was talking about. I hit the profit target, okay? We had 3K for the profit target. Today, I took buys now, okay? Now, I personally, let me just go back. Let's not go to that. Um, Now, I personally, I wouldn't trade. How I traded this week, I would never trade like this a day in my life ever again. Like, this is all just strictly on luck, okay? Gold, my only analysis on gold, of course I did catch some sales, but I was thinking like long term, gold has been flying. Gold will still continue to fly. My fundamental confluence on getting into anything for gold this week was that we were going up, okay? Now, it was just a matter of when I was actually going to be buying. Now, here's what it is, okay? This is the stats that I took, okay? This is all the trades that I took for this week. Now, I passed this challenge literally in 2 days, okay? I hit 1500 one day, next day hit 1500. Now, the only thing that I did to get into these trades, I don't have a breakdown, I don't have anything. I was telling people, I'll just put some like little things, up here on the screen. But I've been telling people all week to buy gold and hold. Like I was saying this. It's April 17th. I was saying this at the beginning of the week. Just buy gold. Just buy gold. Buy gold. Now that is probably not the best, method of doing this. Of course, you gotta have confluence when trading. You have to have some type of confluences to get it into your trade. You can't just be like, I'm just gonna buy just because it's going up right now. I basically did that. Okay, do not do that. This is all luck. I personally, I shouldn't even be having this funded account right now, or shouldn't even be passing this challenge right now at this moment. But I am happy that it went the right way, because we could have lost. This is just this type of trading right here is gambling. Okay, this is the trading that you do not do. Do not buy. Well, I guess fundamentally, I was right in terms of gold shooting up, but do not trade based off of, you know, this type of reasoning. Like, you have to have some more type of reasoning than, just hopping in. But with all the news and stuff going on, I kind of knew gold was. Alright, so I'm still in the process of editing this video, but I just also wanted to add, do not replicate what I did on this, challenge to pass it. It literally was all based off luck. I realized I kept saying, it's fundamentals and everything. This really wasn't fundamentals. It was just strictly just luck. I bought at the right time, of the day, and it just happened to go in profit. Okay, don't think when you're trading it's gonna happen like that. Trust me, it's not. I literally just probably got like a 1%, luck that, price actually just went my way, with trading, with the, gold buy, with the setups and everything. But this is just all strictly just luck with what I did to pass this challenge, okay? It was no strategy involved. You know, I literally just took the chance with just buying just based off of, you know, looking at how price was moving, and I literally just bought at the right time. Okay. Now, when you're getting in trades, you have to be strategic. You know, you're not just buying and selling at random. You know, you got to get in with certain confluences that you might have, you know, with whatever strategy, you know, it is that you're using. Like I said, this was just all luck. I'm just keeping it real, you know, just documenting the process of it. But this was strictly all luck with passing, you know, and I just got on the good side of it. But yeah, that's just about it. I just want to add in for all the people, you know, watching, you know, thinking that, you know, oh, I could just hop on an account, you know, and just buy, sell at random. No, it doesn't work like that. Like, keeping it real. But just wanted to add that. Let's get back to the video. I wasn't gonna, you know, push down. As you can see, like, if I pull up gold right now, this is what it's been looking like. Okay, gold has been bullish literally for weeks. Okay, this is the gold chart right now. Okay, I was getting in some type of buys, you know.
I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something. I'm leaving here with something.
I'm not gonna lie. I was getting in some type of move. I'm not gonna miss, you know, some type of move to get in. And I just took the risk. Now, this isn't like a calculated risk. This is just, I consider this just luck of me passing this challenge, because I know how trading is, you know, it's not always gonna go your way. I just happen to be on the good side of the, you know, fence for this, because gold has been bullish all through this, like, this whole month, even with, you know, Trump's tariffs and, you know, the stock market going down. Like, you could just see this. Gold has been bullish for months. Okay, for months. Like, all this giant push up. Gold had a little, you know, retracement back in December, but ever since December, gold has just been skyrocketing. Okay, now, like I said, I will actually yeah, I'm gonna have it towards later on in the video, because right now it's about 3:45 p.m. on Thursday. I do need to wait just a couple hours until the trading day actually ends, so that my account can update in the system, because right now it hasn't been updated. You know, as you can see, reach and maintain, you know, the 3,000 plus. That was my target that I needed to get. I did hit that target, but see, I got $3,000 and 50. Wait, hold up. Yeah, I have $3,006.36. Dang, that was just twisting up my words. I had to make, you know, above $8.16, you know, just a little bit more in profit, just because of the fact that I was up $1,500 and 15. I was up $1,504 with this. Okay, now you can't go above the consistency target, which is 50% of your total profits for the day with the combine. So I did go above 1,500 just by $4, and it did, you know, ultimately say, you know, I just had to, you know, get just a little bit more. That's just how Top Step does it. You know, if you go over, you know, the consistency rule, they add on, you know, a higher profit that you need to hit. So it's technically $3,008 that I needed to secure, which I did. I'll update it a little bit later on in a couple hours. Like I said, once the trading combine, you know, is updated, and I will be showing, you know, the email that they send you, and just the process of actually, you know, starting to get onto that funded account, you know, once they send it. They should be sending it, you know, in an hour, 2 hours or so, but I'll update it. You know, you'll see just in this next clip once we hit, you know, that email in our account. All right, so I am back. It is 5:38. As you can see, we did get the email that I was waiting for. Congratulations on passing your combine, your trading combine. Basically, you know, Top Step, they send you this email, you know, once you do pass the challenge, and then are able to move on to your actual funded account. So congratulations on becoming a Top Step funded trader. This accomplishment proves your dedication to discipline and risk management. Now you have the opportunity to pay yourself up to 4 times a month. This is my account, the 50K Combine. I'm gonna like blur out this account name probably, but basically this is the payout policy that they have. Simple payout policy. Request a payout after accumulating 5 winning days of 200 or more. That's it. Then pay yourself up to 50% of your profits, up to $5,000 with each request, and 100% after accumulating 30 winning days. Remember, winning days don't have to be consecutive, and once you receive a payout, your max loss limit adjusts to 0. So, yeah. Earn and take payouts from up to 5 express funded accounts. Eventually, the goal is to have about 5 150K accounts. That totals out to be 750K total funded accounts. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy when that comes, but it will be coming sooner. Sooner or later. Whenever it does, it does. But we gonna keep grinding out those accounts. But fast payouts. Request your payout as soon as you're eligible, and we'll get it processed for you right away. Now, I have talked to a couple of people that actually have received payouts. They said it does take roughly about 1 to 3 business days. Sometimes they actually were able to request a payout just in that same day, and then get it the next day. But so let me just refresh this just so you can see how it is on the dashboard. Okay, so yeah, like I said, you see now, it's past the time at the end of the day, and all my account balances and stuff, are updated. As I said, we didn't break the rules. We'll see, we hit that profit target of 3,000 that we needed, and yeah, they just say, next step is, to start the express funded. Now, you click start express funded. Now, it's just telling you all the fine print and everything. This is a simulated funded account that has the same benefits as our live funded account. Please note that all traders are allowed to have up to 5 express accounts active at one time, like they did say. To start your express funded account, please click continue. So we're gonna click continue. Now, this is just some fine print, I'm not gonna lie. You can read this if you want. Me personally, I have looked through this another time when I, was getting funded, but this is just fine print account agreements. You can read through that on your own time. But we're gonna click continue. Then we're gonna click agree and agree and continue. Now, there is an activation fee. Basically, you have to pay $150 to get access to this funded account. I'm not going to pay this today. I am going to, I'm probably not going to be trading, the rest of the week, just because it is, Good Friday tomorrow, and I'm probably just going to start this account up, fresh on Monday. I'll have the activation fee and everything all, done with that. But we're going to click I agree, just to go through it. Agree and continue. Now, after this part, it just basically just has you put your, card information, whatever it may be, and then, you'll click continue, and then you'll have access to your actual funded account, and then you can start trading on it. But, yeah, we finally, passed another account. It's gonna be a good thing to see, what the future holds in these volatile markets. Now, since I am on a funded account, I don't have a cap out about how much I can make, per day. Before, I had the consistency rule of 1,500. Don't have that anymore, which is good. I will be holding, my trades just a bit longer, later on down the line, but I am just sticking, to a low RR for now. I have been able to, hit some really crazy trades, in the past, like 10R, 20R, 30R, 40R, whatever it may be. But for this challenge on this funded account, I'm actually just going to take it, just small RRs, get in, secure the profits, get out of the market. I'm not trying to be in the market, for too long, day to day. But let me just refresh this. I don't know why this is going so long. Let's just refresh. Okay, I guess it don't want to take me through the steps. Okay, yeah. Let's just. Alright, we already went through this. Agreed. Okay, I'll blur all this out. But yeah, basically, it says, you know, paying this amount. You put your card information just in on this side, and then, you pay the activation fee. But yeah, that's just basically it. Yeah, once you pay the activation fee, like I said, you do get to trade that account, and all I need is 5 winning days of $200 or more. That is pretty. That's not too high of a amount, since I am risking about 0.5%, per trade. That's already $250. So an easy 1 to 5, 1 to 3, will put me well over that $200 a day. But like I said, yeah, this has been episode 3. We are funded now. I got actually I have another 50K account. I'm gonna be, copy trading those 2 accounts. Now that I have, 100K funded, I will be, copy trading them and, taking profits from those. This should be good. I'm gonna take this slow. I'm gonna take my time with this. There's no rush. We're just trying to get constant, consistent gains, and then eventually get that payout, after those 5 winning days. But yeah, that's about it for episode 3. I will catch you all, in the next episode, whatever that may be. But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for watching the video.